So we got two firsts with this review on Tigger's RC Reviews. The first, if you like, is that I actually ordered this on Thursday and it turned up on Friday at my house. Now I live in the Highlands of Scotland. That's pretty rare, even if I order it in Scotland. But I ordered it from Amazon UK, and the company that supplies it through them basically is called Drocon. I assume they supply Amazon, then Amazon sort of ship it out. So you've got sort of one-day delivery. We call it Prime in the UK. I don't know if that's a sort of global thing that they do. So you can get your quad the following day. So I'm quite impressed with that. Nothing wrong with the Chinese companies or anything like that, and I deal a lot with them. But you can wait 3 to 4 weeks to get your quad. So this is a different way of doing it. And obviously, by being on Amazon, they have to stick to the Amazon sort of rules and regulations and control and everything. So I think this could be a good way forward. So we will just see. Anyway, the other second first, if you like, is this is a UDRC, and I don't think I've ever done a UDRC quad before. Smart looking quad. It says it's got 120-degree wide-angle lens. They seem to be bringing out better wide-angle lenses on these smaller quads, so I'm going to be interested to see how it goes. It's also got Wi-Fi on it as well, range control, out-of-range alarm. Then we'll run through all the bits and pieces on it. The box is really nice and substantial and not damaged at all, which is good. As you can see, it's the U31W model, and the W means that it's Wi-Fi. It's got a huge cage that you can pop around it as well for protection, which is rather good. Decent sized transmitter, and then basically, you know, you can use it for VR, your VR goggles and everything. So hopefully be able to fly. We should be able to fly Wi-Fi FPV, but with goggles. So that's going to be quite interesting to do as well. So let's get it out, and I'll show you the other thing I was quite impressed with, apart from it's a reasonably easy box to get into, is the way it's packaged is extremely good, but what they put in with the packaging is good as well. So you've got a possibility to get free VR glasses, I think, if you do a review or anything, so I think that's rather nice. Hey, you can get those for nothing. And also, if you've got any issues, who you contact as well, so that's good that they've covered that. There's a really good instruction manual in there, and there's a quick start guide as well, and it's in nice big text. Not saying anything about my age, I'm sure, when they sent it, but even the quick start guide's good. It's really well done, the instructions and everything. Packaging, like I say, pretty well, yeah, very good. I mean, yeah, they do pack them up well, the manufacturers. And then what I was getting onto was the actual quality of everything in here. It's warning with safety warnings and everything. The battery wasn't put in. It's going to make a noise on the camera. This was the bit I really liked. Look at this. They put a little card on the top there, all in English, and tells you exactly what all the controls do. I like that. I think that's brilliant. The only thing is, when you take the card off, all the information goes, but at least you could, I mean, well, I suppose you could fly with that on. I hadn't really thought of that, but you shouldn't be looking down at the controller anyway when you're flying. But it does, you know, it does really help. You know, if you're new to flying and everything, I think this is a real big benefit. So let's run through what you get for your money here. Pop the transmitter out of the way just for a minute, and we'll concentrate on that on its own in a second. Got the actual quad itself, which is really quite nice looking, and got these massive great prop guards around it, literally sort of wrapped all around, and they do make the quad look rather large. The actual quad from a motor centre to motor centre on the diagonal is about 137mm, so it's not a huge quad, but the prop guards certainly do make it look a lot larger. They just pop off, so there's just a little clip there that you just spring loaded, you just pop them off. So there we go, the prop guards are just really just simply clip on there, so pop them off, and then you've just got a neat looking little quad as well. I think it looks quite smart with the prop guards on actually, but I'm going to probably fly it with them off because I don't really need them. If you're new to flying, definitely use them. It actually seems quite a fair bit of glass there, and I do like seeing a lot of glass when we've got a camera on board, so hopefully the quality will be reasonably good. And like I say, the quad's really quite nice looking. You've got a little Phillips screwdriver, you've got a 2mm hex wrench or Allen key, a spare set of props for it. You've got a little prop removal tool. These are really good. And just simply slide under there and then lever it down, and it pushes the prop up and pushes this part of the motor housing down. If you try and wrench them out, you can damage the actual motors themselves, so always use those. They're really handy, and it's nice that you get one in here. You've got a little 4GB card which will give you loads of recording on this, and also a USB adapter, so you can just take it out of the quad, plug it into there, and then you can download all your video and images onto your computer. You've got a 2-cell battery. They describe it rather weirdly. It's 3.7 times 2, and it says it's 350, so I don't know if it's a 350 complete or whether it's two 350s, but we'll see how long we get in the flight. The charger, it is a proprietary battery, by the way, and the charger comes obviously to charge this one and this one only, slides into there, and then you plug that into either the mains or your computer or your car, wherever you've got a USB output, really. It goes red, LED, and it virtually illuminates the whole thing in red while it's charging. When it's finished charging, it goes green, so it's a really nice system. And this will put out at 2 amps, so if you've got a reasonable power source that you can actually put into it, then that will charge this up really nice and quickly. If we just pop it into the back, and it goes in round one way, obviously, and then it doesn't power up because you've got an on-off switch here, which I really like. I like it when there's a separate on-off switch. And then the LEDs look pretty good. I don't know whether or not we'll be able to see them from the side. I think we will actually, and they are quite bright, so nice. Obviously, as you can see, green at the front, red at the back. Yay! We like red ones. And there's a blue LED going on in there. Now I reckon that will be to do with the video, so you'll know whether or not you're recording video or taking stills, but we'll go through that when we actually go out on the flight. The other thing I liked about this was they've actually put the antenna on the outside, so you should have good range with it as well, which is, yeah, always vital with these things. And usually they tuck them well inside and then put the battery over the top of them, so you're fighting range all the time. The micro SD card slides underneath here into the back, and it shows you what way round it goes. Hopefully the camera will pick that up. You just simply pop it there and then just slide it in, and it sort of clicks into position like they all do, so. And then you're all good to go. Onto the transmitter itself, and all my excitement about this, you know, the instructions they give you. It's basically a piece of card, I know, but I think it's really good that they've actually bothered to do it. This basically tells you how to fly. So it's altitude hold, so both the sticks are centered in its mode 2. I don't think you can change it to anything else. So this is your throttle basically, and basically fly up, fly down, you turn left, you turn right, and then you fly forward, fly backwards, fly left, fly right. That's all there is to flying. Once you've done that, that's it, really. This piece of card has virtually done me out the job of doing reviews as well. So, oh, hey-ho. Oh yeah, you want to see it fly as well, and how it performs, and what I think of it. So yeah, the review's still on, don't worry. Even the non-functional ones are pointed out as being non-functional. You've got your power on and off there. You've got your headless mode here, and then you've got one touch to take off and land, and also if you're in a panic situation you can just hold that in for 2 or 3 seconds and it will kill the motors and it will just drop to the ground. This model also points out that when it starts to go out of range, you get an alert on the transmitter beeping basically to tell you to head the quad back towards you so it can keep it within range. So I think that's really nice. You know, I like that effect that before you actually run out of range and it just drops, you stand a chance with it. And on the back of the transmitter you've got a couple of buttons. You've got your trim button for setting the trims. To be honest, very rarely ever need to set trims on quads, but it's there. And then you've got your rates button here. This one actually is unusual because it actually starts in second rates or intermediate rates. You press it once and it goes into high rates. It does 3 beeps, then you press it again, beep, goes around into low rates, and it's cyclical, so it just runs through the 3 rates. And this is a really comfortable place to hold it. It's just right where your finger sits on the back of the transmitter. Really nice. You've got these 2 antennas, which I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive. There's only one of them got a wire through it, an antenna through it, sorry, and it's just this one here. So this is a total fake one, but I suppose it just makes it look good. And the final thing is you've got the holder here for your phone, so you can do the FPV. This just folds out here. This is a neat little design, and it just holds in a position wherever you put it. It's like a friction lock on it, so you can put it wherever you like, and it'll hold a reasonable sized phone as well. So great. Let's get the batteries on charge and get out for a flight. Okay, so this time I'm going to fly it on the transmitter, and I'm going to use the
phone with the app to fly FPV, so I can see what the camera's seeing. So turn on the transmitter first of all and get this red flashing LED up there. Hold the on button for just about a second. It flashes really fast pulse, then it goes down to sort of a slow 2 pulse and then a big gap, and then we're ready to bind. Up and down with the throttle, and that means we're all bound, ready to go. To calibrate it, like they recommend, you pull this one down and to the right, you get flashing LEDs, and I did it off the transmitter and then we're all done. Well, the quad will have set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, so we need to make sure that we log on to that. And if you've already been on it once, it will invariably pick it up again. But I'm actually quite close to where our router is, so for the broadband, so it might well not. It might just stay locked on that one. Yes, it has. And then it also says it won't connect automatically, but to be perfectly honest, I've found most of them do. Just connect up to that. So this doesn't use up your broadband, your data usage or anything. It's just literally a connection between the quad and the phone. That's all it's doing. And then launch the app. And we get a warning up saying that there's no internet access from it. Well, that's quite normal. And then go onto the remote interface, and then we're all ready to go. So that's us. Yeah, I have found some of the Wi-Fi just takes a couple of seconds to sort of get up to speed, which I know sounds really daft, but it does. It does look as though there's a tiny bit of lag there, but it'll be fine for lining up a shot. That's more or less, you know, what these things are geared for. So I'm going to put it into the phone holder. And my phone's got the on-off button right where it shouldn't be, right halfway down the side, which is a real pain. So I'm going to actually put mine in upside down, but the screen rotates anyway. And then just make sure I don't activate the camera. It's a real pain the way this one works. So I'm just going to, by accident there, I pressed this, which actually controls it to send it on a mission. So we definitely don't want to do that, because that will override the transmitter and it will start working on the app instead, or there'll be a conflict of interest obviously between the two. So there we go. Right, so let's do the auto takeoff, auto land, and just see how we get on. Let's start recording as well. Oh, it's quick. That was literally, I breathed on that button, and this one seems to make it sort of a pulsing sort of action. It doesn't look as though it's pulsing on the video. No, it looks pretty cool actually. Actually, that is a wide angle video. Yeah, very wide. It's definitely sort of got a pulse to it. I think you can even do an orbit with it. Oh, that's quite funky. Hey, look at that. As I go, I'm going to go side into the house now, aren't I? Okay, perhaps I won't. Okay, let's put it through its paces. So you've got no high or low rates with this, so it's just the more throttle, the more pitch you give it, the quicker it will get, basically. Whoa, that thing goes. I wouldn't say it was overly fast, but it's fast enough. Certainly if you're a beginner, I think you'd probably find it fast. But again, you can just control it really nice and slowly. So for video, I would keep this really slow. And the screen looks pretty good, but the grass is sort of blocked up, but the rest is really nice and clean. It's quite a good video. It looks on the screen. What it's like, we'll test when we actually finish the review. And the thing I like about this app is it tells you how much battery you've got in the actual quad itself, and also what height you're at as well. So there's some telemetry going on there. Let's just pop it up a wee bit. I'm never that bothered about too high up. There we go. Well, we've got 10 meters up there, so you should be able to see over the top of the house, no problem at all. Yeah, that's holding signal well as well, so that is good. The problem is you start going way up, you can start to really lose orientation, and then you can start to lose your quad. And that's still just about holding there. That's pretty good actually. And then descent, I've pulled it off completely, pulled the throttle right off, and it still takes ages to come down, because with altitude hold they're usually slow. Some of them can be nice and fast, but invariably they're quite slow. Certainly on the lower, the toy grade ones. Yeah, well, that's working really nicely. I'll go and just set it up to take a picture, which probably going to be the same quality as the actual still off the video. It tends to be, but we'll just see how we go. There's a little bit of breeze kicking around, that's sort of catching it quite a bit, so I'm just going to turn that off. There we go, and then take a still. Oh, it puts a little still down the bottom here. Yeah, so that's good. You can get the whole house in as well. I don't think I've ever done that with any of these small quads, because usually the angle of the actual lens is never good enough. Yeah, that's quite good actually. Yeah, very good indeed. Let's do a quick range test. So I've got, actually I know if I go down there I can do an 80-metre range test back up the garden. And yeah, so if I go now right up to the end of the garden, up to the bushes, I'll know that's 80 metres. I'm only really testing the transmitter, to be honest. I don't expect the Wi-Fi to hold that far. Wow, that's up there. Oops. Oh, I got a beep that it was running out of signal. That is brilliant. Nice. Like it. God, it does get a bit of a shift on, I must admit. That's nice. Hey, I like the fact that it beeped that it was running out of signal. So about 80 metres. They probably quote it to 100, but it's not going to do that. Now I'll try headless mode. I'm not a great fan of headless mode, but let's give it a go. So in normal mode, the front of the quad is always pitching forward. So if I turn the quad around that way and I go forward on this one here, it will go forward to the orientation of the quad. So now it's facing towards me. If I go forward, it's going to come straight towards me. We go into headless mode, and we're getting flashing LEDs alternate sides. That's really nice as well. And actually the LEDs are pretty impressive really. Yeah, no, they're good. Let's start that video again. So now I go right and left, so that's exactly the same as what we were having with it in normal mode, but that's because we're facing that way and the quad's facing that way. If I now turn the quad through 90 degrees, forward is still over there, backwards is back towards me basically. If it was going north and south, sort of like that, and it's catching the breeze again, just drifting a wee bit. So forward and back, and no matter what angle we're at, it's always the same. So some people find it a very good way of flying. I don't particularly like it, but that's just me. So even though it's at this peculiar angle, if I go forward it will go straight away from me. So I'm going to turn that off, and then the LEDs have come back to not flashing, so they're on solid now. That's really good. Oh, yeah, one of the things with headless is you can have it at an angle, and then you can fly and sort of pan along if you want to. So yeah, so it can just keep going at a certain angle if you want to. It's just a different way of flying really. It's not really I've never really found a huge application for it, I must admit. But that's just me, and it's on there for you if you want it. This thing's really nice, flies really well. Let's give it a bit of a move on and see how we get on. Oh yeah, it's flying alright. It's so small and so precise with how it flies. It's got a little bit of a drift on it, I would say. I think it wants to go forward. No, it's not. It's definitely the breeze because it's always going that direction. Now we're getting beeps. Oh, battery's down to 14%, so that's brilliant. Hey, I like this. So you can land it on your hand or wherever you like on the ground, whatever it hits when it's going down. Basically, it will then kill the motor. So, and all I did there was pull the throttle off. Let's just show you how the auto landing works. So if I pop it into auto landing, it will come down, and I can still control it with this direction stick to where you want it to land. Okay, to fly this with the app, first of all turn the quad on, and you get the little flashing LEDs, there we go. And then go into your Wi-Fi settings, and then make sure you log on to the Wi-Fi hotspot that it generates. There we go. Because I'm literally outside the house, it's staying on the signal in there, so I've had to do it manually. Usually it would automatically just go and pick it up. That's what I usually find anyway. And there we go, you get a warning that it's got no internet access. That's quite normal. Go into the app itself, and then we want remote control interface, And there we are, we're all live. Now if you notice, the LEDs are still flashing. So it's picked up the Wi-Fi and we've got the camera working, but we're not actually controlling it from here as yet because we haven't turned any controls on. So you have to press this one up here and then turn the controls on. As soon as I press that, it will stop flashing and goes onto solid LEDs, which means we're actually bound with this. So, there's a few little bits of extra on this app, and I've done a video on how to fly on apps, and I'll put a link down in the description for you. It covers most of the basics. Up here we've also got high and low rates, so that's rather good, and you've got your signal strength here as well. There's an micro SD card in there, and the emergency button on this one, when you press it, it will just drop out the sky. So everything else is the same as the other app, so have a look at that. If you've not flown with an app before, that will help you out, I hope. Anyway, so let's do a little takeoff. And it's just going to pulse up and down for a little bit till it gets itself organised, and then the controls are exactly the same as we had with the other one. Hey, actually I can fly on this app. I'm always relieved when it actually moves around like I want it to. Definitely makes a funny little noise, this thing. We're going to pop the video on. Yeah, that wide angle lens makes a heck of a difference. I've had some of the smaller quads, when you're that far away, you've got a job to get your anything in, to be honest. So let's just take this up and see if we can get one of the actual house. That's better. There we go. Yeah, look at that. That is a really good wide angle lens. If the quality is good, well, yeah, it'll be absolutely superb. Yeah, that's great. So this is in low rates, and it is quite slow, but not drastically slow, to be honest. I've had slower, and it flies really nicely on this app. This app's really good. So that's in low rates, and that's with everything cranked around. I'm going to pop it up into high rates and see whether it makes a lot of difference. Oh yeah, it does. Whoa, look at that go. That really does, yeah. And the fact I could control it, I'm well impressed. There's a few videos around on the channel that have got disasters with me trying to fly them on app, so I'm actually really quite pleased about this. That is really good. Very good indeed, yeah. And this app, when you pull it away to somewhere or other, if I let go, it goes back to the middle, but if I put my finger back down there, it jumps to where my finger is. Now I think that's the correct way an app should work, because when I pull it, you basically use your thumb, sorry, you shouldn't have used my finger there, but you're using your thumb, and when you let go on some of the apps, it goes back to the middle. You have to go to the middle to get it. Well, you're watching the quad, you're not sort of looking down at your hands usually when you're flying, so it's, I find these sort of apps really good. So just test out that emergency landing. Let's see how we get on with that. I can just get down low because I really don't want to damage this quad. So just press that emergency. Whoa, that is real. That's what I thought it might do. So as soon as you press that, you just kill everything on it. Let's take it up again. So, like you see, it's really good. Very nice. Now this one's got another function on it. It's a function I'm not overly fond of, but it's this one where you can send it on a path where you want it to go. So if I do that with it, well, you've still got control on the altitude and also what direction the quad's facing in, but you choose by just drawing a line where it's going to go. And that was straight back towards me. This thing really isn't going to hurt if it does. Yeah, this one actually works. I'm not overly impressed with them. And there's a breeze coming across, so it just keeps blowing it back this way. But the idea is you can send it where you like, really. And it's always forward on it. There we go. So if I bring it back towards me a bit. Let's just turn that off. Oh, there we go. Yep, when you turn that off, it also turns off the controls. So not very good, I don't think, that it does that. So you really should have landed, I suppose, but it's not quite in agreement with it. I'm going to get that. Hopefully the breeze won't catch it too quick. And what I want to do is I'll just sort of show you it will do a loop or whatever on it. So there we go. Whoa! But again, it goes off left to what you've programmed in. So yeah, and I'm still not really getting those that actual part of the app. It's really not my scene, but never mind. It's there if you want it. So if I can just sort of show you. There we go. There you go. So it sort of went exactly round where I said it should have. There we go. Yeah, and so I could just sort of bring it back towards me, I suppose, over the top of me. That's it. And of course, well, if you go into lower rates, it doesn't go as far, is the theory. No, definitely doesn't go as far. So you have got a little bit more control over it. I don't like this bit that when you turn it off though, oh no, you can turn it off by using this one up here, and then you keep your controls. Aha, yep, that's different to some of the others. You can see the battery's down to 47%, so really nice. Excellent little quad. And an excellent app, because like I say, I don't usually get on that well with them. That is superb. I wonder if we can do an orbit. Just a little bit too much. Whee! I think I'm pushing it a bit on the orbit there. That's nice actually. That's quite good for filming because it's nice and slow and controlled. And that's 30 odd meters there. No problem at all. Yeah, I think it would probably control it up to about 50 meters, I would have thought. That's a norm with them. Let's put it up in high rates and just see how we get on, shall we? And I can tell if I turn it round. Whoa, a little bit strong on the turn. Yeah, and you've still got nice control even in high rates on it. So just seeing how far our signal will go. Yeah, we lost it there. Whoa! Well, yeah. So we actually went out of range there, so it was about 40 meters, I would say. Yeah, and yeah, you can see now we've come back on, so I could probably get it to take off again. But these should really be kept in quite tight, especially with that wide-angle lens. Should be absolutely fine. I could feel it dropping down as we were going. But these little things are usually quite nice and robust, so it really shouldn't be a problem. There we go, back up on full signal, so it automatically rejoins up, so that's good. And off again. Absolutely nothing wrong at all. Okay, so yeah, pretty impressive. Oh, we're down to, now my phone is vibrating, and we got flashing LEDs, and we're down to 14%. So, yep. So basically just bring it back into land now. And you can land either the auto land, or you can just bring it down. Knock the throttle off like that. I was trying to look at this and look at the quad. Oh dear. Yeah. There we go. So that's brilliant. I love that. And the phone is still vibrating. It's got. I don't expect the camera will even pick up the noise of the vibration, but it is definitely vibrating to alert me. That is really good.
So what do I think of it at the end of the day? Well, firstly, I've got an apology to make. I actually missed out showing you the high and low rates. With all the excitement with everything else going on, I missed it. So here's a quick video clip to show you what it's like.
So as I said, this starts in second rates. Right. And it sort of does everything in second rates really. You sort of could have a bit of a speed on. We're not too mad. And then you can actually really slow it off as well. The controls are really nice on this. They're really nice slow. There's quite a breeze coming at that. Whoa, you can feel it. You can keep it nice and slow as well, so it's fine. So it does sort of both. If you want to take it up into third rates, press that. It's very very quiet on this transmitter on that part of it anyway, very quiet. And that's up into third rates then. It'll go nicely that way. That's into wind, that's wind behind it. Like I say, it's pretty cool. But honestly, sort of second rate sort of really does it all. I'll pop that down into low rates, and that's full pitch in low rates, so it is quite slow. Would be great for camera and also a beginner. I mean, you can just really slow this thing down. Look at that. Really nice and controlled. Let me show you the difference then. So we've got low, intermediate, high.
Okay, onto the transmitter, and I like it. I do like things plain and simple. I don't want any comments back on that, thanks. But it really is nice. As far as I'm concerned, they could take off the headless mode as well. Auto landing, auto takeoff, they could kill. I'm quite happy just arming the motors, to be honest. The transmitter is nice and comfy in the hand. It's got these big bulbous bits at the back there, and it just sits really comfy. And I find it absolutely fine. The controls are really nice as well. Obviously, it is a toy grade transmitter, and it's aimed, that's what it's aimed at actually. It's not trying to be anything else. Talking about what it's aimed at, I was pretty gobsmacked that they actually underquoted virtually everything it did. They put the battery time recharge at 75 minutes, and I did it in just about an hour, something like that. They gave the flight time about a minute under, which I was quite amazed at, and they gave the distance under what I was achieving with it. So that's pretty unusual with manufacturers. Some of them so overrate it, it's ridiculous. But no, I was quite pleased. Yeah, I'm very pleased with the actual setup. So that's the transmitter all done. Oh, no, it's not quite. I love the fact that you got beeps back. When the battery's running low on the quad, you get a beep on the transmitter. If you turn the quad off, you get an alert beep that it's lost its signal. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's really good. Finally onto the actual quad itself, and this is nice. I like it. I think it's a nice little package. It's not too big, not too small. You could just sort of bung that in a bag, couldn't you, and then have your phone with you, and it flies really well on the app. Now that's one thing that a lot of them I've found don't, but they're all getting better at that sort of stuff. So if the apps are getting better throughout the whole lot, so it's good. The range wasn't brilliant on it. I have had apps run a bit more, but to be perfectly honest, with the wide angle lens, you didn't need it to go any further. You could easily get a scene in, no problem at all, with this 120-degree wide angle lens. I thought the video was pretty good. You know, for what it is, 720p, it was absolutely fine, you know. Better than a lot, not as good as some, you know. And again, they've got to build these things at a certain price point. I mean, that's just what this comes in at, so I'm just being honest with what was there. There's a nice little touch on the micro SD card. If you don't have one in there and you're using the app, or you have to use the app to start the video and everything, so you go to start the video or take a still, and it will alert straight away that there's no micro SD card in the actual quad itself. So I thought that was good. The LEDs are excellent on it. I thought they were really good. Again, for what it is, they're really nice, very visible. So all in all, pretty good. Nice little robust quad as well. Bumped it a few times, as I do with my full testing. As you saw, it dropped a couple of times. No issues whatsoever. Haven't had any problems with it at all. A couple of scratches on the props, but nothing else. I mean, I haven't even changed the props. I did have a look at changing the motors, because I get requested, you know, how easy is that to do, and it is this easy. Let me show you. So I don't usually go into sort of this area of it, but I just happened to notice there's one screw on each arm, and there's just this little clip here as well. So I just thought, just out of interest, and just hopefully it'll help anyone that buys one, it's really easy plug and play motor change. They're 8.5mm diameter brushed motors, obviously. Just simple little plug there. It's really normal. This is a normal setup, so it's really good. I'm glad they've used normal ones. Literally undo that little screw in there, unclip that clip, take the prop off. You can slide the motor out, swap it over, put it back in, you're back in the air. Whoa, in a minute or two, I would have thought. That's a really nice little design. So all in all, I really like it. For the money and everything else, I think it's pretty good, and I got it in 24 hours, so I can't really complain about that. So both paws up, I think, on this one, and a big thumbs up.